Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Tuesday lighting critique. For those that are just watching on YouTube, we had a little bit of a delay, or we had a break in the action for the last couple weeks. I was traveling for both my birthday and for the fact that we can travel again, and I was introducing family to my kids. So welcome back. In the time being, we had Francesco Giraldini from DreamWorks, who's a brilliant artist, giving critiques for our students over the last couple weeks, and we were just talking about how we're going to try and do that more and more for our students going forward. But since they were paint overs and weren't really videos, so we're going to get back in the action on the videos. So for today, we have 4 different videos here. We've got some still images to go through. We've got some updates on this month's lighting challenge, which is this really badass animation from the Griffin Academy. And for those of you that are working on it, make sure you guys are in our Discord server. We're giving updates over there for like when the animation gets updated or the hair cache gets updated. So make sure you guys log in there. Okay.
Mike,
yeah.
There's one video that I posted also.
Oh.
That is not.
Oh, amazing. Okay, let me go ahead and pull that in. Did you post it to the?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's just look for you here.
It was, I think, Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't quite go back that far. All right. So if I'm missing anything,
That one, yeah.
Oh, this one with this one here.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
And also, if you get the Robo Fight one, also, I just have questions about that.
Okay. Pull this one down, and then there's a Robo Fight one in here. Is it? Am I seeing it on my screen? I'm not seeing it.
No.
All right.
It's probably older.
Okay.
Older.
Let's see. Oh, there we go.
That one.
This one? Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Or the one at the top.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, that one's the old one.
This one's the old one? This is the newer one?
Yeah, this one has, the robot has materials on it.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, this one looks newer here, right? Let's see what this one is. No materials.
No, yeah, that one says it's the old version.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
got
that's the one that I sent to Francesco. Yeah, that one.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right. Oh. Windows is so funny. Sometimes this one and this one. Okay, cool. So let's start here with Aaron's, and this is just the animation from the project that you're currently working on. And
yeah, so this is actually my first time I rendered this out this morning. He said if I have notes on the animation to give him a heads up. There's some geo, like syncing into geo and stuff. I'll give him a heads up on, but yeah, this is the animation.
This is cool. I mean, the great part about this is that all that dense foliage in the background can be rendered as a still render. Like, it's perfect because it's like it's distant enough back there where the shadows of the character won't affect it, and you can just render all that stuff on one layer as one frame, and then the render times drop substantially because all you'll have to get is literally like these couple branches and these full like these foreground things. So that's really beneficial.
That was the plan. So I guess I actually have a question about that. So I tried doing the AI shadow matte stuff, and I don't get I don't get any color in those shadow mattes, and I don't get any, the edges are like sharp. So they're not one-to-one.
Really?
Is that the best way to do shadows in Arnold?
Usually it's better than that. I mean, usually I'll use that to isolate, like it should be better than that. I'm not quite sure why that's happening. Especially the hardness versus the softness.
Okay, I'll put something together to show you later this week because I didn't love it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
Even like this foreground branch, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I can just get the shadows as their own thing, I only have to render like the last, like that's the last third of the shot, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of why I chose this, because there's a lot of things that I won't have to render 300 frames of, you know? A lot of these are like, even the background, there's a camera move, but it's only, I think it don't last like 20 frames or something.
Yeah.
So kind of why I chose it, because I knew this would get my render times way down.
Yeah.
If I can just figure out the shadow passes by themselves.
Yeah. And even, no, I was to say, I mean, there's even no. I mean, sometimes you can, because I don't know how to do this, Callahan might, but basically you can just like render the background and scale it up just a little bit, and then just import the camera data and then just do like a 2D move, because like it's just a jitter. It's not like it doesn't pan or rotate with it, you know, like it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. There's no. It's not a 3D move at all. It's just like it just does that. So I think you could probably get away with even still, because what would happen is there would be like a pop with some, you know, like noise would kind of come on or something. It has a chance of feeling different, especially because like you got a motion blurred at the end, like that's just going to be shake. You're not going to see too much. But yeah, like this might be an issue, but also the fact that it's penetrating his lip there in frame 250. But like the fact that it just kind of goes into the geo of his mouth and he has his mouth open for a while. I would just try and work on darkening that, and we'll look at the image here in a minute. But that's gonna be tricky. Also, that's funny.
His legs go through the tree there.
Well, I'm also just looking at, like, it's not his eye blinking, it's his iris that blinks. That's funny, right?
No. So he's got almost like his whole eyeball is basically skin.
Oh, okay. Oh, got it. That makes sense. I was like, what?
I just kind of figured I'd see where you were at today with the lighting, and then I'll start doing like every 20 frames or so.
You know, while we've got this pulled up, let me just hop over into the lighting here. So we've got it here.
Yeah, so I just dumped a bunch of stuff on you today, so.
You jerk. No, I'm just kidding. This, so overall, this is looking like my first gut instinct on this was just like it was pretty. Like it was just pretty. I love the color scheme. I love the greens of the nature with pops of red from the tongue and the bug and all this other stuff. I mean, it's working really, really well. I think that some of the color scheme works well. It's funny because these are a little like these don't quite have that red pop in there, which is fine because I think it's actually working out well. But in terms of like the foliage back here, a couple things that you can do is you can add some God rays back there or light rays back there. That'll help lift the dark values back behind them and really allow us to even focus more on the foreground. I think having that in there, and you could even, if you wanted to add a little motion, you could even like do like a real subtle animation on a gobo light back there, which would be pretty quick to render, and then you just like comp it in. And then the one thing that I was thinking was, you know, after seeing the animation, it would be nice if you crept some. You got some light in here. Like, do you see how there's like a patch of sunlight on this branch, and it's really, really nice. Yep. It almost kind of creates a stage for it. I think it would almost be better to kind of do the same thing over here too, just because we're seeing a lot of key on the character himself or herself. And just like getting that same type of pocket there would be really great, especially because in the animation you see the character drop into place, so it's like just to have some visual interest on the branch before that happens. Would be cool. Lost my Photoshop. There it goes. Okay, so. Like that stuff, I think that the subsurface looks good. It gets a little dark around the tail. I think, this is like a super finicky one, but the eye dings eventually should be both on the upper left side. Like this one gets a little central, super minor.
Yeah. I don't know. I can always figure that out. Like near the end.
Yeah.
It was.
That's
one.
I regretted saying that like halfway through it. I was like, I shouldn't be talking about this now.
I feel like because he wanted him in this. It was like, you know, his first round of notes was like, oh, let's do eye dings. I did them just to put him in there and kind of do like see how it would look. But like, I feel like it's not gonna work out once he's bouncing around. I don't know. I'm worried about them.
Don't worry about it now. He does the same thing that I do, which is like talk about the eyes because our eye goes there immediately. But then when we're lighting stuff, we'll bitch about people who go to the eyes immediately, and like we're like because there's other stuff you want to get through as well. So the other thing was I really think that you can up the bounce light in some of these areas a little bit more too, because if you look at wooded reference. I guess it's a little bit dark in here, but you actually will get a lot of like bounce light into some of these areas, like here and in here. Like you get a lot of like it's just like a lot of areas where the direct sunlight hits, and I think it would help just kind of create a little bit more variation, especially top down, and especially because there's like so much air underneath it. There's just room for like this bright light that's coming in to kind of bounce up a little bit more underneath there. And then for the leaves themselves, I think this specular highlight is great. I think it's a little bit too strong in some of these areas, especially like here, and over here. And I really like, do you see how it's a little bit broader and a little bit cooler in these foreground ones? And that's just because it's not quite as hot. It's nice to use those as an opportunity to get some of the blue skylight into the leaves a little bit. Yeah, but I think this is looking great otherwise. Does anybody else have any thoughts? Yeah, this is looking good.
I thought the tongue is a little too pink, like the SSS, but nobody really talks about it, so I'm not sure.
No, I think
maybe when we see the whole thing, yeah.
I don't disagree, and I think once that becomes like a thing where it's like almost the entire frame you're staring at it, like I could totally see that being a valid, like, oh my gosh, it's too pink, you know. So,
and I also think that I'm looking at the bug in terms of the overall color scheme. I almost want the bug to go more pink and less, because it looks kind of crustacean-like right now, like a lobster or a crab. And I almost want it to fall, like I just want it to fall more into this magenta color scheme as opposed to like a pure red. So just like shifting that hue a little bit, or maybe darkening it or something. But it's just like this red color, I think, would look better.
Or maybe because there's a lot of bugs with real red colors, but they would have like a really black, where this one has like a pretty like reddish black, the same way as a lobster or a crustaceous.
Yeah.
So maybe having some different colors on it and keeping the red or shifting the red to pinkish.
Yeah. But you're right, Diane, about the tongue. I think that is a little bit too much. We'll see. I mean, like a lot of it is we'll see it once we get that full animation going, wherever that animation went. Here we go. All right, cool. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of Cat's animations here. So, I got this one.
Sorry about the flickers.
That's fine. Fine, flicker.
Literally rendering it last night, and it was just like, render faster!
Yeah.
So I managed to get the frames under a minute each, but they're flickering a lot.
That's fine. That's fine. No, that's totally fine for this. Okay, so I got this. I like the way she's framed up at the end. I like the style of the lighting. I mean, I like the idea of that light coming on halfway through. The thing is about it is that it feels very, very broad. Like it doesn't. It feels like a really big light, but I don't see it here. Like I don't see it affecting. Like it feels like if it would be, because it doesn't feel like a spotlight, and because if that's the case, it almost feels like the entire ceiling, like just on her, the impact on her, it feels like it's almost the entire ceiling, right? It feels super bright.
It was supposed to come on later. I didn't want the light to come on until she like is stepping back into it before she does the kick.
Yeah.
So that was part of the problem. I was animating lights, and when you start doing that, and yeah. So it took me a while to get it But that was actually the light and the fog are supposed to come on when she steps back after kicking him. So I want it to be like kind of like she's stepping into that foggy light setup there.
Okay.
So I'll have to tweak that a little bit.
Yeah, it just needs to affect the room a little bit more. Maybe the fog needs to be broader at its base, because it just, or maybe just the light that's on her just needs to be a little tighter to create some tighter shadows. It's just that it feels like a helicopter has flown over top of her, and it's like a big broad light just going boom. Because it's not about the intensity; it's about the shape and the effect of the light on her.
Okay.
And then sorry, I'm just watching this. We kind of lose that character as he's kicked into the foreground a little bit more. I like that it goes through a section of darkness here, but it would be cool to have him enter some light at the end too.
Okay, I'll just move the light that I had back a little bit. I think that got tweaked when I was moving stuff around.
Yeah, just have him settle in there, and then.
Plus, he's gonna have the sparks, so the sparks are gonna be brighter, so that might help a little bit too.
A lot of it's just reading the silhouette of him, so we can see.
Right.
And then in terms of the environment around them, I just want there to be like a little bit more. So there's this light up here, but it's not like I don't see it affecting anything down here, and I just kind of want to see it pick up some small. Like I want to see some highlights on things, like not a huge amount of illumination, but just a little bit more like just picking up some of the pipes and stuff. Just like the way that you've got like that little bit there, or it's on the other side.
Okay.
Just a little.
Yeah, in the front that there's more. I'm playing with bounce cards, so I need to kind of get them right because those lights are actually shining up from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tweak with them a little bit to get them a bit more broader, so they give you more hits on the sides.
Okay. Very cool. Cool. Anybody other thoughts?
Do you like
for
the
Kat?
spark?
The what?
Do you like the sparks? I know they're kind of hard to see, but do the sparks look okay? I mean, I'm going to change them and make them more glowy, but they're kind of hard to see on this version, but they are there.
I mean, it looks like they're meant to be run with motion blur. So I would try rendering them with motion blur. Because they don't, they look like, I mean, they look like pixels and not sparks. Like they don't quite have that yet. So I think anytime I see something like this, it usually implies to me that the effects artist or the animator, whoever put them together, was implying for them to be motion blurred out because they look a little. I'm trying to say, like they look a little bit like you can see all the individual frames.
It's a particle system.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just give that a try.
Okay. But I think they're hitting right though. So I just wanted to make sure like they hit the impact and look good when they're getting like the movement of them as far as when she's hitting and stuff looks right. So
it looks like they're also not fully being shadowed by the character. It doesn't look like they would be shadowed underneath here.
Okay.
Unless, I mean, I guess they're sparks, so they're emitting their own light. But yeah, I take that back. They're not.
Probably when I make them shinier and more glowy, they'll probably get a better effect too.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Right at the end, where like the last 10 frames, the spark would seem to be going like up, where I think that once the robot is sliding, they would actually kind of like should come more to the camera other than like exploding up.
Yeah.
But
I'll have to figure out how to make that happen. It's a particle system, so it's basically just an emitter that's ball shaped. It's a sphere, so it's shooting sparks all directions. So I'm gonna change the size and the shape of the emitter, and that'll help too.
I mean, there should be some gravity applied to it too, right? Because it would just kind of. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at this one. Right. So I like that it runs through the patch of light. Yeah, structure of this is coming together. It's just like they'll just, let's see. His blue jeans feel too saturated overall.
Okay.
As she's jumping up through this pose in here, it would be great to highlight. Let's see. She comes up through here. I guess it's that one. I'm trying. I was when I first watched it through. It was like I lost because this is all about her shape and like reading her profile. The action stuff. Let's tone down this up here.
The blue light?
The under light on that pipe. I think it looks warmer to me.
Oh.
But like,
Okay.
you know, the under, like, because that's kind of
Oh,
the brightest thing.
yeah. Okay.
I would like him a little brighter at the beginning. Just so we can, because like that's our first opportunity to pick him up where he's at. So I would
Okay.
push him a little brighter in there.
I got his skin tone so he's not as reflective, I think, better. Because before
Yeah.
I know he was like blowing out a lot.
Yeah, he's looking a little better. His skin's a little saturated.
Yeah, it's a little too red. I did that when I rendered it.
Yeah. And like
Does she look good though? I made her darker. I think she looks, but she doesn't look. They don't look shiny anymore. So that's what I was trying to get a little bit more variation on them.
They don't look as shiny anymore. They like her skin still feels a little green to me. And that I just want to get a little more red in her skin tones. And then there are a few points where their skin kind of like it just kind of flattens out a little bit. Like right here, her skin, like not to stop in just one frame, but like it feels like it's lacking some shaping in there. And I think that might be the lack of specularity. We might have pulled that out too far. Just getting a little more specularity in there to get some more shaping.
Okay. I think they look more skin-like though, versus.
Yeah. And then watch out her whatever that is. It gets pretty bright in some parts and kind of like it almost looks like a render artifact as opposed to like something something on her suit. So
that white thing.
The
Yeah,
white dot.
it's part of the suit. I don't know. I'll get into the mesh and change the color on that because it doesn't give me an option to change it as it comes. So I'll tweak with it.
And I'm trying to think of how to maybe and let's maybe make this police officer badge read a little bit stronger here in the first frame, in this first chunk. Just like make that a little bit brighter.
Okay.
Also
yeah,
some,
it was
like,
brighter before, and then I pulled back, but I can make it brighter again.
Yeah. Also, some of these reflections in here, I would blur the reflections on it because like this super sharp reflection kind of makes the words hard to read. Just kind of scuff that up a little bit. Yeah. Let's go from there. Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on this?
Did you? I did depth of field.
Mm-hmm.
I've been fighting with it because it was fighting me with the camera, but it finally suddenly decided to work. So the camera's focused in on the badge. So it does get some depth of field. It kind of follows the badge. So if you notice, the badge is always pretty sharp, and then it gets a little more blurred in the background. So I don't know if you want it more blurred here.
I do. I would like to see a little more blur here in the background.
Okay.
So just give it a try and see how how that works. Cool. All right. Gloria, I'm glad to see that this scene's getting some love because I do like this one a lot. I like Turtles. I like John Adams. I like Paul Giamatti. It's all good things. So this is the first time you're doing Unreal. I think. I think this is a really fun experiment, and I think it's a really good challenge. I think. I want to see the characters get a little brighter and the background get a little darker. I think that we've got this opportunity with these street lamps to really push the fact that they're in a pocket of light, which is this street lamp. and really create some pockets going back into the depths. And I really want to create that and give them almost like a stage to perform on under a spotlight here, and then that will allow this light to get a little bit stronger on both of the characters and create a little bit of a stronger key light situation. I think the colors are good. I think the colors are pretty spot on, but I just think that we can go darker in the nighttime overall. I think we can go brighter with the street lamps, and then I think there are some individual elements. Like I think the turtle's eyeglasses can go brighter. We want to watch out for like this very sharp shape of the shadow from the moonlight would be a little bit softer than this, because again the moon is not actually emitting light. It's reflected off of the sun, so it's a big bounce card. Eyes are looking great overall. Like the shader that you've got in the eye looks really good. And then this would be tough in Unreal, but I want to add depth of field because they're small characters, both to the character and then to because like I just don't want to see that in the foreground. I just want that to be blurred out a little bit. So if you can do that, if not, I'm not sure if Unreal can do that or not. What do you guys think? Fog looks good. I like that it's kind of layered as we're going back into space there. It makes the dark points of the characters really stand forward. Yeah. Andre. So, first time with this. Okay.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble with the eyes, the guy's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That is like, but working on that.
Yeah. I think. Man, it's been so long since I've been in a movie theater. I'm trying to remember what the lighting looks like at the concession stand in a movie theater. I just forget. I don't know.
And I try to find references to do that, and because I wanted it to be like a small movie theater, like a dingy kind of like where you'd be able to do that,
Yeah.
And couldn't find everything that I could find is like AMC whatever, and it's like ultra lit, and there's like absolutely no shadows anywhere, and blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's not what I want.
So what I'm thinking is that because there are two main performance spots. There's this area in here with where generally the woman and the older gentleman they're doing their thing, and then there's the area back behind where he kind of steals the stuff. So I think what I would do would be, because like the idea is that everything in the foreground should be seen and it's like clear, right? Like, so I would put like some sort of overhead light in this region here to kind of highlight what's going on, because generally in concession stands there'd be like stuff on the counter that they'd want to like showcase, like Milk Duds and Skittles or whatever the thing is. I love the idea that this is emitting light back here. So what I would do is have like, I would have this be bright here in the foreground, this be bright over here, have these screens glow the way that they are. This is one's got a little low contrast, but basically what that would cause is like them to be existing in the light. Then he sneaks around here into the darkness, and as he's going around back this way, he's more rimlit by this stuff back behind. And then he gets a little brighter as he gets closer here, and then we can see his action. And then he escapes back through the darkness into the light. So it's like when he's being sneaky, he's just kind of rimlit a little bit. And when he's being like out in the open, then they're in the main light source.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be my design on something like this. Because it just like it feels like in the rest of this area that the movie theater is closed because it's dark. It's too dark. But this is a fun little scene. I like this. Yeah, I would give that. I would just maybe try structuring that out that way and see how that looks.
Okay.
And just like real rough, just throw a couple lights in there and see if you like it. We'll take a look at that again this week.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I like that underlight on her.
So yeah, I changed the materials on the robot so that it wasn't as shiny as the first one. Separate a little bit better from the foreground, from the background. And Jessica told me, and actually you had told me before, to kind of like choose which of the lights you would be the main light. Is it the floor or is it the overhead?
Yeah.
So I played around toning down both one and the other, and I felt like it lost the sterilized, like environment feel that I have with that one.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, it's like, is it something that like, even in a production meeting, is it something that you would just say no? I would rather stay it this way, or would you?
The way I always advise people to handle a situation like that is, if you're working with a director or an art director and they give you a note that you disagree with, what I always say is do their thing first, save that as an iteration, and then do your version as like a plan B, because you can show them, because what happens, and I've made this mistake, is if you just show them the thing that you think is right, all they're going to be thinking is, why didn't you just give me what I asked for? Like, but if you show them, right, if you show them what they asked for and be like, here was that, and then you present it as like, I had this idea, I think what's happening in this version, so, and then it gives them the option of being like, they can stick with theirs, or they can go with an alternate version, which would be yours. Empowers them to continue to be in the decision-making process, like to be the decider. It doesn't undermine what they've done, because I guarantee the thing that they'll say is like, can you just do me a favor and just like try it the way that I said the first time, and then you've like lost a day, and they're not like pissed, but they're not. It just made it seem like you didn't hear what they said.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree with, like in terms of this individual scene, I don't disagree with what you're saying, because it might. But like this is all I really wanted. I wanted to, like, the idea of playing up this underlight a little bit more, and I think that's enough of a difference for me. And then the big one that I want to see is if you've got this floor lit up, I want to see this robot go over these panels and really feel that underlight on the robot, especially like maybe even get a little darker as he crosses over this like threshold between the two, and you kind of feel a of light going past them. Like I want to see more interaction between that robot and the ground.
Okay.
And I do want to point out that I really like the tone, because it's not the metal in the background is not white. It's like kind of a steely blue green, and it's really pretty. I think that's a really cool design. I like that a lot. Like in the pipes and everything. I wonder. I'm looking. Oh, you know what? It might be helpful. So with these big panels of light, I'm wondering if like this shadow should be softer. Because like in a situation like this, you'd almost want no hard shadows. And I'm just wondering if there's a way to differentiate the color of the pipes versus the wall a little bit more. I'm not 100% sure if I would darken the pipes a little bit, maybe. Maybe that, because I don't want to darken the walls, because that takes away from the sterileness of the scene. But I think I like the way that like this contrast level is hitting up with some of the surroundings. So maybe just darkening the pipes a little bit more. Give that a try.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of it's looking good. Really cool
Awesome.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Keep going. It's great. All right, let's hop over to the stills. And... All right, Aaron, we talked through. Ashley. Okay. So my initial reaction with this one is I think that... I think the saturation in the background is a little bit too strong. I would pull that back a little bit. And I think the... I like the saturation on the light in like this foreground area over here, but as we get further back, I want it to be a little less red orange on the character, and I want that to be a little bit more, because that it's at this point it's more, it's almost like green, but I'm not gonna be able to get it, but. At this point, it almost looks like she's in danger of the fire when it's this red on the character. Like at this point, because I want it to be a little softer and I want it to be like more of like a broad studio light or something. That's just like it's just a soft light source on her. And then I think these darker and this is again going back to the difficulty of this shot as a whole. There's just these flowers. I think that especially over here, like the darkness on these flowers can go. I think we can get some more fill on them, and okay. I think that one of the things that I like to do with flowers is sometimes hit them with a little bit of ambient light. Just light with, or just like maybe lift the shadows a little bit, just because they have so much translucency, and if you try and calculate that, they'll just get so noisy that lifting the shadow value. And then it's going to be a little tricky, although maybe not with the color of that light. I was just thinking it's going to be tricky because most of those flowers are warmer tones, to keep them on their kind of like nice warm tone flower color with all this cool light around them. But actually, since they're in the foreground, I think we'll be okay with the with the warm light kind of lighting them up, because then we can realistically keep them on their yellows and their reds and their kind of warmer magentas. Yeah. I think a lot of it is just some color tweaks and then those value tweaks in there. You've got the good shaping on her. I think I love the how we're picking up the specularity in her shawl, and her headdress and all that stuff. I think that's looking really good. I'm just wondering, there may be an opportunity as we go forward to kind of highlight a little bit of this interaction, because it seems to be a lot about what she's holding in her hand, and just really kind of highlighting that.
Like some rims or something over there?
Yeah, or just maybe like the values just a little brighter in that area.
Okay.
Or something. We'll play with as the colors kind of come into place. We'll play with that a little bit more. And then I was just looking to like maybe get a little bit more like a just a little more shaping on the trunk of the tree. I really like how we're getting this bounce light under here, and then this looks really good. It's just down in here. It'd be nice to get a little bit of shaping, just because that tree is so thick that you want to make sure there's a little light to dark fall off area going across.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, great. All right, cool.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't want to cut anybody short, but I only have about 10 more minutes, so we'll go through these last few. So Ayako, I really like the update. I think you're matching Francesco's paint over, like pretty much 1-to-1. You've got some nice bokeh on the background there. I think we can add a little, like I think this value might be a little high in there, and I almost like want to pull some of the intensity of this light here and then pull it down here, because I want to see a little bit of that cool in here. So just soften that and then try and get a little bit more of that blue cool light in here, and then same thing kind of in that area there. But yeah, I think everything else is looking really, really, really good. Yeah, I think you match your reference really well. So really good job with this one. Brenda, same deal with yours. I think love this bounce light in here. You can you can feel the energy of the light bouncing off of that building to the side, and I think that's working really, really well. The sky is looking good. Yeah, this is looking really good too, man. That little bit of sky in there and like coming across the top here. I just want to get. I just want to get a little bit more variation in this door and the stairs there. They look a little two-dimensional and a little bit flat. And I just want to, like, if you have an ambient occlusion, just add a little bit of ambient occlusion to that, and I think we'll call this done. But I mean, and it's not an apples-to-apples comparison, but just like looking at this door and looking at this door over here, like this one's got shaping across it, the stairs a little brighter, everything's kind of flowing. This one just a little bit more dynamic in the shaping, and I think we're good to go. But beautiful, beautiful stuff. Dani. This one's looking, this is really fun. I think that looking at the reference, I do think that we could perhaps push a little more coolness into some of these areas. I think the key light in the center has gotten a little bit bright, especially in this region in here. It's just like kind of clipping out a little bit, and it's not quite getting that level here. He's got some more indications of light kind of coming through, like maybe like a hole in the ceiling up there or something, if you want to add that, but this is looking really, really nice. And then a little bit more darkness down here, but keeping that bounce light feel inside there is really good. Yeah, and this looks really nice outside the window too. Really, really, really good progress. All right, and then for the robot, I think we can go. I think we can go brighter. Coming out of the book a little bit more up here, a little bit more dynamic there. Yeah, and then this background, I want to. This is a little bit of a hard line there. I want to fade this a little bit more, liken the rim on her. I'm reading his feet too much. I want his feet to go a little bit darker. Just because like they're just kind of especially this one just kind of feels like a perfect square, or not square, but like a perfect rectangle. And then whatever's causing this, I would just watch out for that. I'm not quite sure what's causing that darkness there, but this is looking a lot better. Big improvement. Oh, Gloria. Oh, right. These are your reference from the other one. Yeah. So this is what I was kind of mentioning. So I like this and the haze in the background, but like having the brighter characters over the darker background would be really good. But yeah, the fog effect is really good in your other one. All right, Keven. So we've got your reference here. Background looks good. I think the biggest thing for me is I want to feel, I mean, I can feel a little bit of that reference on her backside. I just kind of want to feel a little bit more of that coolness around their edges. And then this is just kind of a tough part about this scene is that their skin looks very matte, and they can get a little bit flat in their shaping. And that and by that I mean like this area can just kind of be like one consistent value. So you might need to add some more specularity in the skin as well. For her hair, it has a tendency to get a little gray and a little flat, so you really kind of want to infuse some more bounce light in it and pull out some of the green. It can get a little bit green too. I'm looking at this. It might be I'm wondering. I'm considering having you turn the exposure down a little bit on the background too. Let me just try that real quick. That's let me just do this. I'm gonna keep some of the highlights though. Just- But I think toning the background down just a little bit will really help us focus in on the characters a little more. Yeah, and then I think overall they need some more bounce light, more than just her hair. Because again, if they've got this bright spotlight shining down here, it really would kick up some extra light up underneath here, and you can see it in like some of this reference, how they're getting some nice warmth. These guys are getting some nice warmth. It's all about that secondary bounce light, and like it's tough to see because no one's really in these spotlights, but they're getting a little bit more warmth in there as well. But it's a really good start. All right, that is it for today, everybody. I think that is everyone. Like I said, I was playing catch up with Francesco's. If I missed anybody, let me know and I'll add it for tomorrow. Hopefully, let me just check my schedule. I can do it back at our normal time again tomorrow. Thank you guys for being flexible with me today. Yeah. Wait, that's not my schedule. Sorry, I meant to actually check this before I started to make sure that, but it's kind of odd for you to be checking my schedule in real time. But that's the way we're doing it today. Yeah, I can do a half hour tomorrow, and I will check out with you guys then. So normal time, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Again, sorry about that, West Coasters. And I will talk to you, and I will see you guys then. All right, you guys good? Anything else before we break? Thank you guys. It's good to be back.
Thank you.
All right, talk to you all
Bye.
soon. All right, bye.